Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and this quick video on using the Supernote platform and the quick access feature. A lot of people have been out there talking about the different platforms and, kind of how complex and complicated the Supernote digest could be. And I get that, I understand it, and very much how beneficial something like on the books platform can be for the split screen mode. My argument would be that that's mostly helpful on larger devices like the 13.3-inch tablets, but I do understand that it can work on a smaller device to a point. But what I'm going to show you today is just how easy and quick it is to navigate between different documents on the Supernote platform, and why I feel this doesn't need a home screen because you have one that travels with you, and that is your quick access menu. So let's go ahead and jump on in and we can have a little bit of a look. See you in a second. All right, everyone. So here we are with the Supernote A5X. So this is my original Supernote device. And no matter what you see on this platform, that's the nice thing about Supernote is everything is backwards compatible. The only real exception to that is the Kindle app, because that's no longer supported on this version of Android. Everything else that you see here is on the device except for one hardware thing, which is the dual slider. Everything else works the same. But I wanted to show you this because, again, there's a lot of people out there, and I understand it, that say the digest is complex, and it is. The digest, if you are not into pure, deep academic research, can be a little cumbersome until you get used to it. The nice thing about it is it allows you to automatically tag pages and documents, have those reference materials, have those quotes tied to those pages and those documents, and that can be really useful for a lot of people and a lot of things. However, if your main goal is to just capture snippets and put those into a note and then free write under that note, this can work every bit as good as something like the book notes in books or any of the other tablets out there. And the reason being that now that you can insert text directly, you really get that same experience. Now, it does not have split screen. I would argue you don't really need it because if you're reading a PDF on this size of a device or an EPUB, you're probably going to want the full screen instead of shrinking that down. But that's a matter of personal taste and preference. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So we're in a test note here. And this is just how easy it is. You pull down on your quick access toolbar. And what I've done, I've kind of preloaded this. So there's a couple of things happening here. One, you always have your recent files. So you can see all of your different recent notes. You have a new note where you can create. You have your last open note or last open document. So if you're working in one document specifically, the only two things you're going to need are right here. You're just going to be able to, with one click, swipe, click, go back and forth between these two documents. Then the power of the quick access is actually what happens in this space here. And that is, you'll see here, I have a total of 6 different documents open. 3 of these happen to be on multimodal learning, and then a couple of the happen to be on historical documents. I've got a mixture of EPUBs and PDFs. You can also have a mixture of notes so that you can easily navigate all of that. But let's take a look real quick at just how easy this is to work. So we're going to go child life in colonial days. I'm in the EPUB. Now I get all of the different functions and features. But what's really handy about Supernote is I get this little tool here, which is a highlight tool. And so say I want to start here and just drag down. I went a little too far on that one. So let's go ahead and take that out and go back in from here all the way down to the end of this paragraph. Now I can copy this or I can add a digest entry. So let's say I just want to copy it. I don't want to deal with the digest. I just want this text in my note. So all I have to do is hit copy, and then I can go ahead, last open note, one click, and now I'm back in the note. And then all I have to do is a text box, paste text, and there it is. It's right there. And then, of course, it's in a huge font right now because that's what I've had it on. But I can take that down in font size, and there is my text. It's that fast. It's that simple. Then I can make notes. So that's pretty quick, right? Very fast. Now I pull down on my quick access again. I can jump straight back into that same document I was just in and start doing this all over again. Or let's say I want to talk about one of these multimodal learning. So I'll go into this right here. Now I'm inside this. I can adjust my margins if I want. I can make my text bigger. But let's say now it's a PDF. So you get more options when you go in. You have an actual highlighter. You also have the selection tool still. So I can come in here and I can select. Now I get more options here. I can highlight, I can underline, I can add digest, I can add a PDF embedded comment. But again, I get that copy button. Go ahead, swipe down one more time, go to last open note. And then I'm going to go ahead and select my text box again. And I can say paste text. And there it is again. And I can move that down. It's going to be a little bit too much text in this case, but there it is. I can go ahead now and write over this text, write on that text, mark through, mark it up. All of this is really user-friendly and really easy to do. So again, that quick, that simple. I can have multiple notes. I can have multiple PDFs. I can have multiple EPUBs. I can have my recent files. I can go just between two in a one-click way. You cannot do that as fast on other platforms, even with books, as powerful as it is. Now, again, in split mode, yes, you can do that. But to have full-sized pages and full-sized reading experiences, you would have to swipe up on the left-hand side, go to your file picker, and then go ahead and open up your windows that way. And you'd have to figure out and remember which one it is, which version of NeoReader, which tab in NeoReader. This is a very seamless process. Now, not saying books is bad, not saying that other devices do things poorly, because they don't. What I'm saying is that there's been a lot of talk about you can't do what you do in that case. Easy copy and paste from a document to a note. And what's even more awesome than that is that if there was a hyperlink in one of these documents, I could go to the website, copy something off the website, swipe down, go to last open note, and paste that content as well. I'm not going to go through and show that. This has already been a little longer than I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a quick hit. But thanks for watching. Let's go ahead and hop over and I'll give you some final thoughts. All right, I wanted to show this off because it's one thing I've heard a lot from a lot of different sources, and I understand the frustration. This idea that the digest can be complex. There are a lot of moving parts and pieces. Within each entry or piece of text, you have handwritten and or typed notes. You also then can insert that as a block with a backlink into those notes. That workflow isn't for everybody. But I've also heard that, well, why isn't it more seamless? Why can't we just insert directly into a note? And I just wanted to kind of dispel that myth and kind of show that you really can effectively, quickly, and efficiently use the Supernote floating quick access menu to do all of those things. That's just a really powerful tool. And quite frankly, to show you that you can do that on a 5-year-old device. I've owned mine about 4 3/4 years at this point, but this device is over 5 years old and has the same functionality that the new Manta does, that the Nomad does. And if you scale down, especially to the Nomad size, split screen isn't going to do you any good, but this quickness of navigation and the ease of use of being able to repurpose and reflow content and move content between notes and other components on your device is just fabulous. But thanks again, everybody, for being here. Thank you for your support. Please let me know if you have questions, comments, drop them down below. This is a community, always has been. You've all have been great. And we're approaching that 4,000 subscriber mark. Thank you. If you watch my content, which I know about 60% to 70% of you do and haven't hit that subscribe button, please do that. Just help us grow even faster. I know you're coming back and watching, so you might as well be a subscriber. Until next time, keep moving forward, and I will talk to you in the next one.